Barrels. We have courses where we have tunnels and barrels class and the mixed class. So barrels are a very constant use, and they have a multitude of uses. So, barrel turns. Although, okay, right, just checking my rules here. Okay, so the most obvious one is to get the dog to run past on the far side to the handler and keep going. Okay, so that way you can use the barrel as a slight corner. Doesn't have to be sharp. Okay. It can then be used to, as I say, it's used then to soften a corner. So there you have your hoop, turn the corner, barrel, hoop. You may want to use barrels, in a multi-sequence so that the dog has to go round outside edge of the barrels. Now, okay, again, that's really good. But then you have the other part where the handler or the dog is guided to come the handler side of a barrel. So not the outside edge, but the handler side of the barrel. Now again, this will be similar to your gate situation, whereby that may be to go in between two barrels like this, if you can see that. So the dog is called in and then pushed out between two barrels. You've got to allow for space to do that. Finally, you've got the turn almost and double back. So this is the 180 situation. And this could well be, this sort of scenario is usually with a hoop, and then the dog is asked to go all the way round the barrel and then turn itself, double back on itself to go back through the next hoop. Now that's important. The important bit about this is to allow, and this is why we tend to keep it for the much higher grades, is the dog needs the space to take the turn and then line itself up to return through the hoop. You can't expect everybody's dog to hug the barrel, particularly if they're going at speed. They will turn wide around the barrel, okay? And then they've got to line up, and they've got to have the gap there for the handler to help the dog realign itself and keep going. You can then also have the point where you pull the dog, or you're drawing the dog towards you, your handler side, and then turning it away from you to go in the opposite direction from your position. Okay. Those are the ways to use the barrel, as I say. For the lower grades, your best bet is to have it where they pass on the outside edge, and maybe, very maybe, have a pull through on the improver side where they have to slide in and out of the barrels. Hooper Levels, by the way, does prepare people, if they look at that, for these scenarios. So as they move up the grades to improver and H grade, they should be looking at having upgraded their handling skills to manage these things. You will see barrels in different scenarios, and obviously if you have a pyramid of barrels like this, there's a multitude of ways that you can use that on your course layout. They can go all the way round, they can cut across the middle, you can do a figure of 8, etc, etc. So a pyramid of barrels is a nice possible sequence or setup that will allow you several choices of sequences. So allow space on a barrel turn for the dogs, especially if it's the higher grades, to make the turns and realign themselves if you've asked them to double back. Okay, hopefully that is giving everybody a good idea of some of the things we look for.